Hello there YouTube, it's your boy B3, back with another kicking action figure review. Today we are looking at the McFarlane Toys DC Direct, the Joker from DC The Silver Age. Yes, this is one of their digital figures, so it comes with a digital collectible, which I don't really care about, probably won't even scratch it off. But I just really wanted a nice Joker. This is kind of the type of Joker figure I've been waiting for, and I'm very happy. They finally made us a Silver Age Joker with lots of cool looking accessories, so let's get him out of package. And here he is out of package, the DC Direct McFarlane Toys Silver Age Joker with digital collectible. Okay, I really like this guy. I like Jokers with the kind of tail on the jacket. I really like the Silver Age look for Joker. I think it's classic. I think it's wonderful. And I think this is a Joker design that you can kind of slide into any era. Like, he could still be the super grim dark edgelord Joker, even with the bright colors and stuff, because he still has a face that's kind of creepy. Really like this figure, and it has more articulation than I kind of expected, or at least in some places. Speaking of articulation, the head moves pretty well, side to side, nice wobble, up and down. You got kind of a nice plastic cover over the torso, so you got up and down on the arms, and then you do kind of have that butterfly-ish kind of McFarlane-y joint here, but it is a little hindered by the jacket, admittedly. Forward and back, you have a nice bicep swivel, a double L bend that works really well, and the rotation on the wrist, as well as like the forward and back and stuff, which moves a little farther than you'd think, but also if you push it too far it will pop the hands off, so be careful with that. You can kind of feel like some torso-y articulation. He can look down pretty far, actually, for someone just kind of doing it on the waist for the most part, but because the jacket does kind of keep some of the articulation in there still, but luckily the waist is able to kind of compensate for it a little bit. You have in and out on the legs, forward, back, and he can go back a little because of the rubber bussy covering, but there's so much covering because of the jacket too that it pushes it forward a little. So it's not a perfect bussy cover, but it works. It works. You have a double knee bend, side to side on the feeties with a little bit of an ankle pivot. It kind of works. And then the toe beans. Yes, I did not expect the toe beans to articulate. But hey, it works for me. Pretty cool. Alright, so that was articulation. Let's talk about detail and paint. I actually think it's done quite well. This is a pretty incredible head sculpt, and I don't immediately recognize any of these parts or anything on him, so I think he's mostly, if not entirely, original parts. He's really nice. I like the lapel flower, the squirts acid, and everything, and he's real colorful, which is good. Gloved hands. That's a nice touch. Really nice looking figure. Lots of wrinkles in the suit. You can see the seams like in the stitching. He's really nice looking. Now, for accessories, you see he kind of has this open showman-y kind of hand. And he also has this hand holding cards, which is a good hand to have for a Joker, but the cards are just blank gray cards. If the backs were blank gray and the fronts had something on them, that would be fine, but there's nothing on the front either. So it feels kind of almost like a wasted effect if you don't actually have the Joker on the Joker cards. You know what I mean? So I won't be displaying him with that hand. Luckily there is an array of accessories. You have two different holding hands, both for the same side. One just kind of has his pinky out, all fancy. Just some slightly different posings of the same hand. A little odd that they are the same hand. I thought maybe a holding hand for each side might be nice, so you can decide which end to put the cane on. This might be what I display him with. It's just a green cane with a little Joker head. It kind of almost looks like Tim Drake Joker from the Batman Beyond movie, does it not? Return of the Joker. Because the Batman Beyond movie is technically episodes edited together. But then it also has the nice purple ribbon for a little color. Would have been nice if maybe this was white or silver or something, but I can live with it. And then this is an accessory that I think people will be pretty gaga over. A hand holding the Joker fish. The only real issue with it is the Joker fish could probably use a bit more paint because it just kind of looks like a smiling fish. Like maybe if it had a white face, big red lips. At the very least, it should have the big red lips, I think. Because, yeah, it's the Joker fish. You see it and you're like, oh, of course, that's the Joker fish. But maybe they should have actually tried to make it look like the Joker fish. You only know it's the Joker fish because the Joker is the one holding it. Yes, it has a big smile, but it's just a big smile. It's not a Joker face. We also have the normal trading card that McFarlane likes to put with their DC figures. This was a thing that I originally liked McFarlane figures for, but it's gotten to the point where I'm like, I'd gladly be rid of the card if I could have more accessories or accessories of more paint. You get what I'm saying? Like maybe the part of the budget that went to this card could have gone to more paint on the accessories. Speaking of things in the budget nobody cares about, here's a card for the digital collectible. Normally this is the kind of thing I would give away, but I think I'm going to keep it this time just to maintain the value. Even though I don't think many people would really even care. Seems like McFarlane probably saw how much people were making off NFT scams a while back and was like, let's do that. But now that's past. But the time it took to make these figures and stuff, now they're out after the NFT whole thing is done. Sorry, buddy. Maybe you should have watched the second half of the CoffeeZilla video, and then you would have realized what you were getting into. I don't think that these cards are scams. I'm just saying I don't see the point of what. It's probably just like a digital version of the figure or something. What's the point of that? I can't hold that. I can't pose that up. But it does come with a stand. I always appreciate the stands. And this stand is different than the normal DC stands. You know, it's got the McFarlane logo and it says McFarlane Toys Digital. So I do appreciate that they put a little something extra into the stand. That being said, that's paint that could have gone on the Joker fish or the playing cards. So, oops. Anyhow, let's continue onward. We've looked at the figure itself and we've looked at the accessories. You know what that means. Next up is size comparisons. First up, of course, we're going to compare it with more McFarlane figures. Gotta show them off with a Batman. I don't have the Silver Age Batman. At the time of recording this, I actually don't even know if it's out yet, but I would like it. But this is one that I just had out already. It is the Michael Keaton Multiverse Batman from the Flash movie. I think they scale pretty well together. And he is from the McFarlane DC Multiverse line. Then to show him with another DC Direct McFarlane figure, here he is with the Page Puncher's Black Manta, which is my favorite Black Manta figure I have. And trust me, I have several. That's pretty cool. I think this scaling is great. So it looks like when it comes to the McFarlane like 7-inch lines, he's going to scale well. Probably won't scale well with Batman 66 or New Adventures of Batman, which I plan on getting figures from soon. I really want the New Adventure Batman Joker and the Batman 66 like King Tut and Bookworm and stuff. So we'll get into those. But let's remove these guys so that I can show you a few more figures. Next up, I want to show you a McFarlane Build-A-Figure. And this will also kind of serve as a size comparison for a deluxe figure because they'll be kind of similar. This one is a Joker, but not a Joker. It's the Darkest Knight, which is like the Dr. Manhattan version of the Batman Who Laughs, who can alter his size at will. So technically he scales well with anything. But still, I just wanted to show you how he'd be next to a bigger McFarlane figure. Oh, I'll leave that actually right there so that I can throw in the next comparison. And I don't show this line nearly as much as I should, especially since I have so many of them. It is the SH Figure Arts Dark Knight Heath Ledger Joker, rest in peace, King. Yeah, so SH Figure Arts is clearly too small to go with the McFarlane figures, but it's still a very good line. Figure Arts, really enjoyable, but just not big enough to go with the McFarlane stuff. So if you want this guy next to a good Heath Ledger Joker in his scale, you'll need a McFarlane one. Let's move these guys out of the way so that we can put our last ones in, which will be some different lines, and they're not going to be Bat characters, sorry. But one of my favorite DC heroes, and kind of the DC hero in my mind, Superman. This is the DC Direct DC Collectibles Essential Superman before McFarlane took over DC Direct. And I love this Superman figure. I think it's really nice. And I think it actually scales really well with this Joker. Joker's a little taller than him. Superman is buffer. But, you know, Joker has some real high hair. It's fine. And then I do want to show him with a Mattel. Just real quick. Just a little Mattel action. It's fine, okay? It's Mattel. They made the DC stuff for so long, it feels unfair to not include them. So here's the Walmart exclusive Crime Syndicate 5-pack Ultraman from DC Universe Classics. He was just nearby. Yeah, as you can see, most Mattel figures aren't really going to scale well with the McFarlanes. They'll be a little shorter. And their detail kind of won't stand up to most McFarlanes either. I do think the McFarlane toys are a huge step up from Mattel, several steps up. But I still had a lot of fun during the Mattel era, even though you can tell this guy's colors have really faded a lot. And just real quick, let's show him with some non-DC superheroes. I'm kind of just doing this on a whim. I just had some more sitting next to me. So I figure, what the hell? First up, how about a Marvel Legend, huh? Here is the Marvel Legends Mark I Spider Armor. If you want to say this is teenage Peter Parker, you could probably make that work. If this is adult Peter Parker, I really don't think it works at all. Oh well. Marvel Legends are about an inch smaller in scale. So, that's how it be. And then this next one is kind of just fan service for my channel community, who mostly like kaiju and tokusatsu and Henshin hero related content. So here is the Bandai Movie Monster Series anime Ultraman, who's slightly different than the manga Ultraman. I call him Ultraman Shinjiro, typically. From Japan, an import figure. And he is a teenager. So I actually do think this works, even though Shinjiro's head would be super tiny in that helmet. But height-wise, I think it works fine. So, what are my final thoughts on the McFarlane Toys DC Direct DC The Silver Age Joker with digital collectible? I actually think this is a really good figure. There are things that I would change. Some of the articulation is hurt by the coat, but if you care more about detail, then you probably won't care about that because it's kind of a trade-off. Either you can have the cuts in this for the articulation and it look worse, or you can cover it with the rubber and the articulation be worse but it look better. I can live with it. I think it's fine the way it is. My main complaint about this figure is many of the accessories seem half painted. I can forgive the cane. The cane is fine. You could argue that it would be entirely green anyway with just the purple ribbon. The blank cards, no thanks. And the fish, I think, should look more jokery. But other than the accessories and not giving a shit about the digital code, This is a pretty good figure. I got mine for about 25 bucks, as you probably saw on the price tag at GameStop. I just walked in while I was waiting on some food to be ready at a restaurant a couple doors down, and I was like, oh, Silver Age Joker, I really wanted that. Might as well grab it while I'm here. So yeah, that makes me very happy. Very glad to have him in my collection, and I think I've finally settled on a nice definitive Joker figure for this scale. For my collection anyway. Many of you might have a different taste in Joker. Personally, I would prefer if he had the long-barreled gun. That's my favorite kind of Joker accessory to have. He doesn't have one, but that's fine because he has a lot of other good stuff. They just had to choose, and they were probably like, oh, we've done that with the Rebirth Joker, who I would have kept in my collection if he moved better. But this guy moves pretty well with some torso hindrance and a tiny bit of hindrance if you're going back on the legs, but otherwise, very smooth. So that's it. Thank you all very much for your support. Please remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. Check out all the cool links in the description below, Facebook, Twitter, etc. Hopefully I'll have some more action figure stuff soon. We're going to kind of go into a big comic book video era in a bit because I'm going to be preparing to move over the next few months while also going through all the holiday motions, and my job is the busiest during the holidays, my day job, plus I run my own store, both online and in person, outside of my regular day job. So that's owning and operating my own store and having a 9-to-5 full-time job, plus trying to do all this, plus trying to move, plus trying to fulfill my friend and family obligations and my romantic obligations during the holidays. It's a lot. So for a few months, it's probably going to be mostly comic book reviews because that's something I can make really quick, and I read like a trade a day at least. I read a lot of comics, so it's easy for me to get content for it. But just know there'll be probably a couple months where there's not a lot of figure content. You'll still get your G&Gs on the first of each month. You'll still have a Safari Sam a week because I filmed a bunch of Safari Sams ahead of time, and I'm trying to do the same with G&G before I really hunker down on packing things up. And you know, when you're packing up all your action figures, you're not really making videos with them. You see what I mean? And you're not really making new stuff for Safari Sam either when you're packing up to move. So I'm not abandoning the channel. I'm not abandoning parodies. I'm not abandoning figures. There'll be a lot of comic stuff, but that's just more for my own convenience. I have a lot to do, and it would really help if you supported my online and physical store. Links in the description below. So that's it. Thank you all once again. I'll see you all next time. Bye for now.